On April 19th, 2021, the speedrunning community woke up to a brand new Minecraft world record. With there being a new world record almost every week, seeing a new one wasn't very out of the ordinary, until players realised that this time was the first ever sub-10 speedrun. Set by Brentilda, it was hard to fathom how big this world record was to be, with only 5 runners even having a genuine shot at the crown. As well as the world record, not even a single runner since has gotten a sub-10, with Crooks almost getting it multiple times now, as well as Silver and Molly. It just shows how next to impossible the sub-10 barrier actually is. But on the 11th of January 2022, a runner who's so mechanically advanced with having such a wide skill set of strategies to use in runs could have possibly broken the sub-10 1.16 RSG barrier. Marky Boy 257, one of the greatest players to ever touch the game, has been speedrunning Minecraft ever since the 1.16 Nether update came out. With this update adding a ton of new and simpler ways to beat the game, it quickly became apparent that these new features would help make Marky become the player he is today. You might have heard of Marky before, but if you haven't heard of him, you've definitely seen one of his runs before. Let me give you a quick example. Marky spawns into the world and goes over to a ruined portal, looting the chest, gathering some wood, and entering the Nether. In the Nether, he goes to a bastion, breaking chests and trading with piglins, then immediately heads off to the fortress and kills blazes, obtaining 8 blaze rods, heading to some good blind travel coordinates and builds a Nether portal, exiting the Nether at 50 seconds, and right away...
Okay. Base ocean. Oh, is that portal room?
With seeing the portal room, he goes into it and enters into the end, crafting beds and then one-cycling the dragon, beating the game in an insane time of 1 minute and 39 seconds. Whoa, Hyreinax, slow down. If I blinked, I missed half the run, and you would be correct, and in fact, you should be telling Marky to slow down, because with the help of an elytra and the Pogloot mod, he was able to achieve this massive time. And that's not all he has under his belt, with also having an RSG time of 6 minutes and 48 seconds, again, using Pogloot. But he doesn't just have to use Pogloot, he also has a very fast RSG PB of 12 minutes and 1 second. Let me go through this run. After getting wood and looting a ruined portal containing a looting 2 sword, Marky headed to the village where he obtained everything he needed, from tools to food, as well as a few extras like beds, and after that he went to the ruined portal and completed it using the lava sources with the portal and entered into the Nether. After E-raying a bastion and travelling over, through terrain and digging through walls, he entered into the bastion and performed his route, and after obtaining all the resources he would need for the run, he located the fortress and using his looting sword to quickly obtain enough rods, and once he had enough, he built a blind travel portal and exited the Nether, and proceeded to calculate the distance of the stronghold, and with 2 pearl throws and a little swim later, he was in the end, and after crafting beds and preparing the 1 cycle, Marky wasn't expecting one of the fastest perches ever, beating the game in 12 minutes and 1 second. No. After this run, Marky stopped running regular RSG for a while, moving on with a ton of Pogloot categories, and after obtaining a lot of world records in the category, he finally moved back to regular RSG, getting a ton of sub-15s, but still not loading the seed that would give him a shot at PB, and after almost 70,000 resets, Marky finally loaded into the seed that would give him the greatest run of his life. Marky loads into the world and has a look around, where right off the bat he spots 3 things. A ruined portal, which can be an easy way of getting flint and steel or a fire charge to light his nether portal. A shipwreck, where he can gather all his iron for tools as well as food for the run. And a magma ravine, which he can use to build his portal and enter into the nether. He first gathers enough wood to make doors, an axe and a bow, then he gathers some more wood and sails off into the ocean, getting some dolphins along the way, a allowing him for faster travel with the Dolphin's Grace effect, which he uses to swim over to the ruined portal, with the ruined portal giving him an item that would change the run, a looting 2 sword, this being a possible massive time save which he can use while fighting blazes. After looting the portal, he goes over to the shipwreck, getting plenty of iron for tools, and after crafting the tools, he gets some flint for his light and then goes to a nearby magma ravine, building a nether portal using the lava under the magma and entering into the nether at 2 minutes and 28 seconds. With Marky being on a faster pace than most, as well as having an insane seed with a lot of variables that go in his favour, with the looting sword as well as the bastion and a grey enter, Marky is on one of the best chances of world record there's ever been, so he goes into full focus mode so he can concentrate all his mind into the run. He heads off to the bastion with it being a stables type, so he does the good gap manhunt route. This route features locating a good gap in a stables bastion, which has a 50% chance of generating, and with it, you can have a ton of gold blocks generate, which you can use to trade with the piglins, rather than having a bad gap, only having a single chest in it. And with the route, you can lure all your piglins down, gather up the gold and give it to them, and obtain all your necessary items, getting plenty of piglins as well as gold to trade with. So this is exactly what Marky does, spending about 2 minutes in the bastion until he has everything he needs, from pearls to string as well as obsidian, so he quickly heads out of the bastion and pearls over to the fortress less than 50 blocks away, and with the looting sword he got earlier in the run, Marky has to spend next to no time gathering blaze rods in the fortress. With good spawn rates, along with the looting drop rates, he was in and out of the fortress in just over a minute, and he proceeds to build his blind travel portal and exits the nether sub 7 minutes. Now, I want you to take a good look at what Marky does next. To gauge the distance of the stronghold, Marky pauses to lower his FOV as well as his mouse sensitivity, allowing him to throw an Eye of Ender and get a really close angle to help him predict how close the stronghold is from him, but in the process, he pauses numerous times for very minor amounts of time, but they can quickly add up. Now keep this in your mind and I'll get back into it later. With that, Marky works out the stronghold is extremely close to him, and after getting some food, he moved over about 50 blocks and digs down in a chunk at the 4-4 coordinates, hitting straight into the starter staircase of the stronghold, and after quick navigation around that stronghold, he was in the end within 15 seconds of entering the end at 8 minutes and 20 seconds, an even faster pace than Brentilda. At this point, Marky can pretty safely secure a sub 10 if he doesn't mess up the end fight, but we can never predict anything before the run is over, so Marky heads off to the Ender Island and sets up his 1 cycle, running off to craft 8 beds just for the slight chance that his nerves messes him up in the 1 cycle, but in this case, he doesn't, and he waits for the dragon to perch, and after what feels like forever when you're on a pace like this, the dragon snaps and Marky is right on it, finishing the game in 9 minutes and 57 seconds. Well, it's been done right. 8 months in the making. Runners waiting patiently for the second sub 10, and it's finally been done. Well, not exactly. Back to what I was saying before. When Brentilda set the world record of 9 minutes and 36 seconds, he paused for over 90 seconds of the run, hence why his in-game timer and his real time were so different, and because of this, players called out pause abuse, so the moderators quickly changed the rules, so rather than having every single pause not counting to the final time, to there being very specific pauses that were allowed, and while every pause was still allowed in runs, they would just be added to the runner's final time. With with the pauses that Marky did earlier in the run to locate the stronghold not actually being viable pauses. They will be added to the final time, as well as any other pauses in the run that aren't allowed also being added. So with these extra times, retimes are getting between 10 minutes and 10 minutes and 3 seconds, and unless the moderators end up giving Marky the sub 10, it looks like Marky Boy's run might just be a 10-minute speedrun. Even in this case, I would like to give a huge congratulations to Marky Boy. With this run being world record paced as well as a possible sub 10, this is something that either way will be celebrated in one way or another, and I definitely recommend that you go subscribe to Marky if you haven't already, with his endless list of runs and world records. If you could also do me a favour, and if you enjoyed, please consider subscribing to me if you haven't already, and if you don't want to but still enjoyed, I'll settle for a like. Thank you all so much for watching, I really appreciate it and I hope you enjoyed. I also hope I see you in the next one. Goodbye everyone.